Palmistry, it's really a language and a science at the same time. So it's a language because you're learning the letters, the words, the lines, the shape and size of the fingers, the shape and size of the hands, the fingerprints, the fingerprint type lines on the palm, any other markings, any scars or any other things, any rings. Everything means something, and everything needs to be interpreted together, not separately. Like, okay, you've got this little mark here, and therefore that really determines your destiny. It's not quite like that. And also, well, some people are afraid of any kind of readings on palmistry as well, and because of certain tales that go around, such as, oh, if someone has a short lifeline, they're going to have a short life, or if you have some kind of a marking, that means disaster. It's not as simplistic as that at all. No reader is God. Readings are for guidance purposes only, and it's God's way what's actually going to happen. This is guidance. This is for the person to be able to understand themselves better, to understand their purpose in life better, to understand their path, to perhaps make sense of things, why they happen, repeated patterns, all sorts of things like that, and also perhaps to help other people, curiosity to be able to make sense of what they're seeing. It's not there for doom and gloom, so yeah. I always have to say that when I'm talking about palmistry, because yeah.
And it's an interpretation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Thanks,
Okay.
Julia.
So, okay, well, this is your actual reading. Okay, so I'll have a look at your hands, see what comes up. Whatever you want to ask as well, just ask.
Okay.
And if something doesn't make sense or doesn't feel right, just say so as well.
Okay.
And also, all readings are for guidance purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
So what actually happens in your life depends on the energy you put forward and the actions you take. And yeah, so this is for guidance. As I said earlier, everything in life is from from God, from the universe, from it's your soul's path, your destiny, and this is just what you are meant to hear in this moment to give you this guidance, to give you a bit of clarity,
Yeah.
etc.
Okay, lovely, thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, you're very open to all sorts of options and possibilities in life. So anything is an option, anything is possible. You're very accepting. Yeah, you're really accepting of people of all walks of life, of all backgrounds. You don't have, let's say, any prejudice or discrimination of any kind. You really do accept people how they are, for what they are, whoever they may be, whatever they may decide to do. So, you've got it in you to accept all types of people, ideas, behaviors. There is very little judgment here, if at all, which is great. You are also very kind, very loving, very giving. That's interesting. The fingerprint you've got here on the index finger is very indicative of having at least 2 totally different professions in your life.
Okay.
Gives you this ability. Not necessarily at the same time. There usually is one profession first and another, although sometimes 2 can run parallel for many years as well. And sometimes it's more than 2 professions as well.
Okay.
And it also gives you this kind of a dual outlook at life. It's a bit like 2 cameras we've got here. You can see everything from more than one perspective. It's a bit like a lawyer, perhaps. You can look at absolutely any situation objectively, and you can really put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand whatever it is from their point of view, or look at something from their point of view at least. Yeah, you've got the ability to see both sides of the coin.
Okay.
You also like to be in charge, well, of what you do, not not boss others about or anything like that, but just to be a leader of what you do, to lead your own path, to lead whatever actions you take, to be in charge of your work, but more so to be in charge of your private side of life, of home, and yeah, to decide what you do, how you do it. You wouldn't want to have anyone breathing down your neck or telling you what to do. And you particularly could not be with anyone who was, say, jealous or controlling or wanted to know where you were all the time or anything like that. You want to show the world that you've got the freedom of thought, the freedom of mind, and they should take it into account.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah. You want to show the world your individuality, your unique way of being, and you want to be accepted for who you are as well. Oh my goodness, that's another composite print. It's quite unusual to have... no, not another one. Blimey. I don't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen this many composite prints on one person. Well, usually there is only one, and it's on one of the thumbs. And that usually is enough. But you've got, well, 3, even 4 men, because that's sort of, it's a subtler version, but that can be counted as the same sort of print. Well, what it gives you, on the good side, yeah, really an ability to see something, anything from so many different points of view. And people can and will come to you for advice, because they would say, like, oh my God, she's so good at solving our problems. Surely when she's got her own, it should be so easy. But it's like the other way around, really. It gives you a fantastic ability for anything like counseling, psychology, teaching, analysis of any kind. So if you ever become interested in one of those areas, great, we can add that to your repertoire of things. Or maybe you've done that before, or just were interested in that. So those sort of abilities. Lawyers tend to have those markings as well, because they need that sort of objectivity to be able to do their work well. Or just generally anything where you where you analyze, and where you are able to fit what you do to the needs of all sorts of various sectors of population, because you just understand them so well, and you can really stand in anyone's shoes and see it from their point of view.
Okay. So the downside of the composite marks is that you don't deal with your own problems as well as other people's.
Oh yeah. And also, sometimes, well, it's very difficult to make decisions, especially any big decisions in life, because you see so many sides of the same thing. It's like, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? And you can just procrastinate, or think, or want to do one thing one day, another thing another day, and in the end up doing nothing because you can't make up your mind. That's possible. Or when decisions do have to be made, yeah, okay, you'd make one, but you doubt yourself forever and ever, and you still think, have I made the right decision, even years later?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Other than that, you're very easygoing. You can get on with anyone, no problem at all. And you're very talented. Well, these fingerprints you've got here again. These are peacock's eyes. Usually, the person would have one peacock's eye, if that at all. You know, obviously not everybody has them. Well, you've got two.
Okay.
Those prints and where they are here, they actually give you a creative ability in any field of creativity at all, whatever you may choose. And sometimes people choose several or do several things over the course of their life. And also the fact that the print is on the right hand as well as on the left does give you an opportunity to make money out of doing something creative that you like. And that can be anything. Yes, it can be fine art or classical music, but in this case, it's it's not that. Making videos is a creative activity as well. It can be writing. It could be making textiles, making cakes. I mean, baking can also be very creative. Recipes of any kind. So yeah, and the list just goes on. Absolutely anything, from interior design to making dog clothes. Everything else is just normal. That's pretty good. It's a bit of a relief. Okay. Other than that, at times there can be a slight lack of confidence, a slight lack of belief in yourself. Even though you've got lots of really good qualities, but you yourself don't necessarily see it that way or don't believe in yourself. That's a difficult one. I mean, it's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, whether you believe that you can do something or you believe that you can't do something, you're always right. So you might as well believe that you can.
Yeah.
I think Henry Ford said that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, yeah. Also, interestingly enough, you are not really born that way. It's something that happened as a result of some sort of events or interactions in life. Yeah, because as you can see, actually on the left hand, you see those two fingers are the same length, whereas on the right hand, this finger is ever so slightly shorter. Yeah. There actually is a certain amount of fire in your hands. I wouldn't say it's 100% fire, but there definitely is fire in your hands. So with all that indecision, you've got quite a lot of like get up and go and set up a business, start up a project, let's do this, let's do that. So that's where internal contradiction is. On the one hand, your nature wants to get up and go and do stuff and get results, and you've got an idea, right, let's put it into action. But on the other hand, you've got this constant doubt, should I, shouldn't I, how should I do it? And that can be constantly fighting within your own mind.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a little bit of earth here as well, which, yeah, helps you actually to be a bit grounded and keep your feet on the ground and not to run away with fairies completely, which can happen otherwise. And it also gives you a nice appreciation of, well, all good material things in life. Food, drink, creature comforts, hot baths, perhaps, clothes, anything like that. um, okay. So far I've been looking at the fingers and a bit of the hand shape, so now I'll have a look at the lines. So these are the lifelines, headlines, heart lines, and fate lines. In your case, you actually do have all the 4 of the major lines, and they're kind of even doubling up, and in the left hand as well. Not everybody has all of the lines at all times, and some people only have one line instead of a head and heart, and that's called simian line. So all of these is normal. There's nothing that's not normal, just some things happen more frequently than others.
Yeah, okay.
So lifelines are really pretty good. So overall health should be reasonably good and should remain so for the foreseeable future, really.
Okay, that's good news.
Yep. So far, so good. All I would say about health is that, okay, there is a slight predisposition, not now, but maybe later on in life, to, depending on lifestyle, so that's where you probably do need to be mindful of and careful, to developing blood sugar imbalances. That's possible. So it's not right now, you're not like anywhere in the danger zone or nothing like that. And in fact, depending on the lifestyle, you can definitely, you've got quite a few years to do something about it. So it's just been mindful of what you eat, and maybe if you know that some of the eating habits are not so healthy, then changing them, taking time to change them and get to love healthier foods.
Yeah.
And then we all have some sort of predispositions, and if we know we can do something about them, then that's great.
Yeah,
In this case, you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you also either been exposed to someone else's maybe smoking in the past, or had sleep problems yourself?
In the past, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Yeah. Well, thankfully there are no major problems for the foreseeable future. It's really, really clear for many years to come. Yeah, I mean, when you're older, yeah, there can be issues you'll be living with, but, well,
Everyone does.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be able to live with them. They may impact the quality of life a bit and annoy you a bit, but you know what? At least you'll be alive and be able to cope.
Yeah.
Okay. And on the left hand, you kind of either have a double lifeline, or you have a double fate line, or sort of a bit of both, because whatever is seen in the hand, it can be interpreted whichever way it's seen. There isn't necessarily a right or wrong way to say it, but again, a double lifeline is yet another thing which gives you 9 lives of a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of doubles up in strength, so no matter what happens, you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What I see here with the fate lines is actually potentially quite a lot of ambition as well, interestingly enough. And you get more ambitious as you get older as well. So you may find that as time goes on, you may want to take on more ambitious, bigger, more interesting or more challenging projects.
Okay. And how does that impact on the stress levels?
Well, depending on how you decide to tackle stress.
and the indecision and the deep thinking.
Yeah, exactly. That's the eternal contradiction. Yeah. You definitely you do have a certain drive with ideas and with ambition, and yes, you also have the internal contradiction as well. And you never stop. You continue creating work, projects, or whatever until you die. Just literally never stop.
Yeah, I can see that.
There is a certain degree of idealism in there as well. It's like you may have a certain idealistic view or idea of what you should or might be able to achieve with what you do, and you will be striving towards that, and you'll actually see the fruit of that as well.
Okay, that's exciting.
Good, good. You also have a desire to heal others as well. That remains more so as a background interest. Well, there can be a certain interest in either healing or herbs or even researching some medical topics, but kind of leaving it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. The way you think as well is very like when you want to get to the bottom of a problem, any kind of problem, you would dig and dig and dig until you've got an answer. You will not leave things unsolved, which is great when you're trying to achieve something, well, for work purposes, problem solving, etc. But it can sometimes create issues within the relationship. When there is something that you want to know about your husband and he's not willing to or not ready to tell you at the time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Or anyone else, close to you, if you've got the desire to dig, people don't necessarily like being dug into. In so many other ways, thankfully, you're very normal.
I don't feel normal.
Well, I'll tell you what isn't here in your hands. There is no predisposition to mental illness whatsoever. Isn't that amazing?
It's a miracle.
Because, funnily enough, you would think it's rare, but I see it so often in hands and often just in the left hand, which means that there is somebody in the family who would have had, say, bipolar or something like that.
Okay.
And the person actually has the gene, but
Right.
they don't have the problem themselves.
Right, okay,
It's
interesting.
more common than you would think.
Yeah.
Nothing here.
Okay, thank you.
Other than that, shouldn't be any major problems with finances, so that should be okay. Should be able to manage that well. Yeah, the money will keep coming in throughout your life. You don't do anything silly with your money, not like overly impulsive or anything like that. So, yeah, financial side of things is actually looking pretty good. The only thing you may spend like more money on is perhaps certain, and they could be like one-off expensive items, is something which is maybe really luxurious, but it really makes a difference to you, to how you're able to relax. That sort of thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's worth it.
Right.
that helps, it's worth it.
Right.
And also, thankfully, you will always be doing the work you enjoy. Yeah, there's no way, like even in the past, when perhaps you had to do work you didn't quite like, but you wouldn't have just done one boring job for life because you're afraid of what could happen if. No, you will always be doing work you enjoy, and you will be making it more and more ambitious and creating new projects as time goes on, and be successful.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And you're very responsible, very dedicated. If you say something, you do it. So you've got a good, responsible attitude. So that's all looking pretty good. So really, overall, health, finances, work, love are all looking pretty good. And thankfully, yeah, I mean, so many people have issues with love life, relationships, and it's just in so many people's souls, paths, whatever their soul decided to learn in this lifetime. Or it's actually hard to say whether, or perhaps there are two schools of thought, is what happens to us in life. Is it all destiny, everything predetermined, or is it a combination of destiny and choice? Well, nobody can say until we're on the other side. And so, but it could be that either that everything is destiny, and even us thinking we're making choices is destiny, and whatever difficult experiences we're experiencing is just all part of what was meant to happen because of karma or whatever. But it could also be another school of thought that life is a complete combination of destiny and choice, and we have free choice, and many religions say that and emphasize that. In fact, some things are predetermined, and we have to go through them for whatever reasons of past lives, karma, or whatever you believe in. And other things, it's our choice, and we get the results accordingly, and we're learning accordingly. So yeah. So what I started talking about is so many people have love issues as their learning curve. You thank God you don't have that problem in any major way. Only like smaller bits that you can live with. So
Yeah, I understand.
yeah, and that's quite smooth, and that should work. It would last. Yeah, and no issues. Yeah, you've got a very healthy attitude to emotions, and you can handle them well. And you also do have the ability to motivate others as well. You can actually use your emotions for in a different way. Like you can motivate others, you can inspire others, and you can also listen and communicate well as well. So you kind of have a straight heart line with a branch in one hand, but that's also part of your fate line here, and the curved heart line with a couple of branches on the other hand, but that's also part of the fate line here, however you read it, so it's actually part of both. And that, in a sense, gives you this dual emotional nature as well. It seems like your whole life, actually, somewhere, somehow, is very dual, because this duality is shown here in so many ways. And I don't do numerology, but something tells me it's like your whole life might be about number two somewhere, but then number two is also about relationships. So it depends.
Okay.
But yeah, everything that happens, there are two meanings to it, perhaps. There is two of something, two of everything, or two of many things. Could be in that way. Yeah, you can really. Communication is extremely important to you. So sometimes you may be only quiet when you're either suspicious or afraid of hurting someone. But on the other hand, you can also be very expressive, very kind of touchy-feely, very like a motivator, like an emotional powerhouse. That's like two totally different sides.
Okay, yeah, that's the two.
So, well, that sort of brings the palm reading to a natural conclusion today. So lots of good things here. Overall, just to sum it up, you are on a good path. You are doing so many things right. You are exactly where you're meant to be in life at this very moment. And all the main areas of life, health, finances, work, life, love, they're all looking pretty good, pretty clear, and getting better over time. A couple of areas to perhaps work on, such as just lifestyle, daily habits, that would prevent any problems from developing further along down the line. Okay. Down the line, yeah. That's the palmistry expression, of course.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah. And there is a lot more success to come through your work, new projects, new ambitions. You'll take your work to a different level, different heights. You'll come up with new ideas. You'll be okay financially. Relationship is thankfully pretty good, and you will stay together for many years, as far as I can see, so that's all good. And health is thankfully good for the foreseeable future as well. So, well, that's probably about it for now, for today. So,
thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. That was amazing. I really enjoyed that.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks.
Glad I was able to help.
Yeah,
all right.
You are. Thank you.
Good.